Hello my YouTube friends, it's me, your old buddy Magnum over here at Magnum Videos. Are you getting hungry? Me too. Let's go in the kitchen and see what we can find to cook. Alrighty, here we are in the kitchen. We decided we're going to have kind of a country meal tonight. We're going to start out with some potatoes. And we're going to wash these and we're going to slice them up and cook them with the skin on them. So you can watch me. You can get a drink later. You can watch me slice these for a bit while I begin a story for you, because I wanted to share this with you today. My parents were from Tennessee. My mother lived in Cookeville. My father lived in Chapel Hill. And both of those towns were small, and they were about equal distant on either side of Nashville. Nashville was in between them. My grandfather, on my mother's side, Will T. Maynard, was a bricklayer, as were, I think, 4 of his sons. And he was known as Pap. And Mammy and Pap had some land, and when the kids grew up and got married, they gave each of them a little plot of ground. Clara married Doyle Webb, and they had a son named Stephen, and they lived up the hill from Mammy and Pap's house. Agnes married Charles Paul and had Linda Gale, Johnny, Virgil, and I think that was it. And they lived up the hill from Mammy and Pap in the other direction. And then at the far back of the property, Will Everett lived with his wife Lizzie, who was a full-blooded German lady who he met in Germany during World War II and brought her back. So that's the layout of the property. Pap built a 2-story brick house. It wasn't anything fancy, but it lasted many, many years, and he did a great job. The house was heated with coal. There was a fireplace in every room, and in the kitchen there was a wood-burning stove, a big, I don't know if it was cast iron or steel, but it burned wood. It was black, and Mammy would go out every morning and get a basket full of firewood to cook with, and I think she kept the stove going all the time, so she just had to, open the damper a little bit and put some more wood in there so it would be ready to go. So every year, every summer, my dad was a plumber, so every summer he would take a vacation and we would drive. It was 40 highway at that time. It was before the interstate system was built. We would drive from Independence to Cookeville and visit for a couple of weeks usually. And on this particular summer, it was probably 1958, 1959. I was probably 9 or 10 years old maybe. We stayed in the upstairs, they called it a bedroom. It was probably just attic space that they had walled off a little bit, and there was a closet in there. And the closet's going to be an important part of this story in a few moments. So I'll stop at that point and keep peeling these, or keep slicing these potatoes, and I'll get back with you in just a minute. All right, we have everything ready to go here. We're going to use my old trusty skillet that looks like crap, but it cooks pretty good. All right, back to my story. Mammy, my grandmother, was a piece of work. She very strict, very quiet unless she had something important to say, and she dipped snuff. It's a little powder. Some of you may not know what that is. It's a tobacco product. It's a powder, and she'd just take a pinch of it and snort it up her nose, both sides usually. Anyway, she was also an excellent cook, and she would cook biscuits like nobody's business. And she had biscuits at every meal, and they were homemade from scratch buttermilk biscuits. She also fried a lot of chicken, and she would sometimes fry chicken in the morning so that you would have chicken for breakfast, and then there would be enough of it left over that you could have chicken for lunch and chicken for dinner if you wanted to. So on this particular morning in question, well, let me get back to the sleeping arrangements. Upstairs, the room I told you about was really not a bedroom as such, but it was used as that. There was like a small area that was a closet, and that's where we slept. And it was me, my mother, and my two younger sisters. So we would sleep up there when we went there on summer vacation. Also, it's important to note that there was no plumbing in the house, no running water, no toilet facilities, and there was an outhouse up the hill about halfway between Mammy and Pap's house and Agnes and Charles's house. So, and it was a two-seater, which I don't understand the value of that, but with a lot of kids, I guess it was handy. So anyway, on this particular morning, I woke up, and I was the only one left in the quote-unquote bedroom, and I had to pee really bad, and I knew that there was no way I was going to make it all the way up that hill to the outhouse. So I started looking around, thinking that there might be some kind of a chamber pot or something in the room. And I didn't find anything. So I looked in the closet. It's taking this oil a while to get hot, so just bear with me. I'll keep talking. I looked in the closet, and I found something. So hold that thought. I've got to get a spatula. Spatula. Or I think it's, my wife says it's called an egg turner. We always called it a spatula. So anyway, where was I? Oh yes, I found something in the closet, and it looked like a 3-pound coffee can. And I thought, well, hell, I'll just pee in here, and then I'll just empty it later. So I went into the closet and took care of what I needed to take care of, and that was the end of that. So I went downstairs. I thought I'll just come back and take care of this later on. So I went downstairs, and Mammy was standing in the kitchen by the stove. And she said, "Good morning, Michael." And I said, "Good morning, Mammy." And she said, "Breakfast will be ready in a little bit." She said, you need to go to the outhouse?" And I said, "No, I'll go later." And she says, "Are you sure?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm sure." She said, "Did you already go?" And I said, "What do you mean?" She said, Did you find that coffee can in the closet and use that?" And I didn't know how she knew, but she did, and I said, "Well, yeah, I did." And she said, "That coffee can is pretty handy, isn't it?" And I said, "Yeah." And she pointed up at the ceiling above the stove, and I looked up there, and sticking through the ceiling was the bottom of that coffee can with the bottom of it cut out. And she said, "It's real handy to get the smoke out of here from my stove." And she said, "Unfortunately, it doesn't have a bottom in it, so anything that goes into it kind of falls right on through and goes into my skillet with the chicken." And I thought, "Oh crap, the jig is up. I have really screwed up this time." But anyway, she just smiled and she said, "That's okay." She said, "I have more chicken, and we'll just a little too hot. I'll just make some more, and you can help me." So I did, and that's the story that has stayed in our family for all these years, to my disgrace. But I don't know what lesson that you can learn from that, unless it's if you ever go to Mammy and Pap's house, don't pee in the closet. All right, I'm going to cook these potatoes, and then I'll be back with you in just a minute, and we'll add something else. All right, things are cooking nicely here. As I mentioned at the beginning, this is kind of a country meal. It's just basically fried potatoes and ham, and it's pretty simple, pretty easy, pretty cheap, pretty tasty in most cases. And I'm going to put a little bit of salt and pepper in here because I haven't done that yet. And the ham is not a salt cured ham, so it doesn't hurt to add some salt to that. Actually, telling that story reminded me of another story, which I'm going to save for another day, but in case I forget, it involves my mother's sister, my aunt, Clara, and her husband, Doyle Webb. And I think you'll find it extremely interesting. And everyone that was involved with this situation is now deceased, so I can reveal the facts regarding the incident. So I'll tell you that the next time we're here. So I think we're getting close to being done. I'm going to finish these up and get them on a plate, and I'll be back in just a minute. So don't go away, because we're going to taste them and see how they came out. All right, there it is, ready to eat. Looks pretty good to me. I'm going to take it over the table and we're going to try it. So I'll meet you there in just a second. All right, here we go. I had to warm up a little butter because it was in the refrigerator, and it doesn't spread good when it's cold. So I stuck it in the microwave for about 8 or 10 seconds and got it softened up a little bit. So we're going to have some bread and butter, which my dad always had with every meal. We're going to have some sweet iced tea, because you can't get unsweet iced tea in Tennessee, as far as I know. At least we never drink unsweet tea. And we're going to give this a try. Pretty tasty. Does need a little more salt. And I found some green beans in the refrigerator that were left over from a previous meal, so getting those too. Mmm. I think that's about all I have to say right now. I don't know what you guys are going to do, but I'm going to eat the rest of this right here. And until I speak with you again, and even after that, you stay focused.